Hi! Okay, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna try this on my phone right now. I'm charging my camera to make sure that I can get some better video footage, some better angles. But for now, just for the beginning, I want to show you what kind of the cutout looks like, and the one that you're going to receive in your package. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. I want a nice, good pair of scissors. If you don't, you just have to kind of take your time and be careful. But you're going to slice on through, and you're going to follow as best you can around, of course, the shape that I've drawn out for you there. And this is going to be each side of your keychain. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just following along my lines. You can do your best if you like to try to cut away the ink that I have on the lines. Completely your choice, meaning you're going to cut just slightly on the inside of the ink. And so just like that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, and here I am. I finished the complete cutout. On mine, you can probably see, if you can, a little bit of the ink marks. I am going to give you the choice. We have one nice smooth side, and if you turn it over, mine has some ink from processing, but also one suede side. So it's going to be completely your choice, I think, if you want to go ahead and use the smooth side to do your beading on, or if you would prefer to use the suede side for beading. So that's the cutout. Next, I'll move on to how we're going to go ahead and start our beading and the shape and colors that we'll use. Okay, so here's my actual keychain that I'm going to put together. If I wanted to do the back side of this with my marker here, I would simply, I can see the center of it, I'm going to turn it over, and I would do this way on here. Okay, but I do appreciate the smooth side of the leather, so I'm going to go ahead and use the smooth side of the leather. I want to say something about the Glover needle. It is very strong in comparison to a sewing needle, but it can bend, and it will. So I want you to do your very best as you're pushing your leather down onto your needle to do so precisely, focused and gently, so that you don't have any accidents and therefore have difficulty with your project. And I'm just going to go ahead, just as I showed you with the scrap piece, I'm going to put my bead down into the center of my project very quickly. Oh, I will have to knot mine later because I did not do that in the beginning. Okay. So here I have my center black. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to create a cross. Okay, I'm going to have beads that come up from the center and down from the center, and beads that go right from the center, and beads that go left from the center. So I'm going to go up first. I'm going to find a spot just above that bead to come up through the leather, just as so. I'm going to pull that through. When we bead, we can do 2 beads at a time, maximum 3 beads, always 2 beads unless we need to do 3. So I pick up 1, 2 beads. I'm going to pull all my beads down to the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of give the thread a little bit of tension, pulling it up straight because that's the line that I want it to go on. Okay, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to push those beads back, making sure, let's see if I can turn myself this way a little bit. I'm going to push, where is that? Right there. I'm going to push those beads all the way back as close as I can to that center bead, keeping those beads straight, and then I'm going to hold the needle down next to that bead that I'm going down next to. Okay, and as I said before, I can push this against the leather, get underneath it with my finger, and I can hold them together, and I'm not hurting myself. Okay, because that needle's not going to go through, because I have to turn this leather right upside down so that I can get the butt of my needle down onto the table. Okay, and then while holding it still, fold my finger and my thumb down next to it so I can push that through. Okay, I want to make sure before I pull the needle all the way through that I'm still going in my straight line that's going to go up. And I am. So I'm going to pull my thread. Let's get these things out of the way. Pull my thread all the way through, and now I am back on the back side. And I've created a knot in my thread. Bear with me here while I undo this. My needle helps me a lot when I get little knots. It's what I utilize. But okay, so there we go. 2 beads starting to go straight up from the center. So we put 2 beads on. We go down into the leather. Now we have to come back up. We always come back up on the other side of those 2 beads. If we had a visual of the other side and could see right through, we would be able to see that between this hole and this hole are the 2 beads on the other side. So I'm going to come right back up on the other. And when I look at it on here, you're going to see, originally I went down here. Let's see. Originally I went down here, and now my needle's coming back up on the other side of the two beads. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull that all the way through because I came up where I want it to. And then I got to go back. The purpose of going back through the 2 beads is you're securing them down, and you're also making sure that your line continues so that I can put 2 more beads on now. So 1, 2 beads. Bring them all the way down, and then you'll notice that now I can continue my line just like this. So again, with this line, I'm going to make sure that my thread has some tension, making it taut. These beads can move all over the place on this line right now. I want to make sure that I'm taking my needle and I'm lightly pushing them all the way back in line. And then I'm going to make sure I got to go down. I got to go straight down next to that bead. Straight down next to it. And then I got to lift up my leather, lightly pushing against it so I don't lose that spot that I want it to be on, turning it upside down, getting the butt onto the table, right? Folding my finger and thumb down next to the leather, next to the needle, and give it a nice little push. Before I pull my needle all the way through, I want to make sure that this is still in that straight line that I want going up, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull my thread all the way through, and I now nicely have 1, 2, 3, 4 beads in my line going up. I'm going to tell you the process again. Before I continue, you're going to put 2 beads on, go down into the leather, turn around, come back up through the 2 beads that you just did, put 2 more beads on. Down into the leather, come back up through the 2 beads, put 2 more beads on. So right now we've gone down into the leather, and now we have to come back up. When we look at our work, we can see this is where we just came down into the leather. Okay. This is where the other side of those last 2 beads we just did. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find that spot. Now with my needle, I can really find that same hole right there, holding with my fingers, turning it around, putting the butt of my needle down, and then pushing up, pushing down, sorry. And if you can see on the camera, I'm not back at the beginning of my line. I'm really just in front of these last 2 beads that I did. That's exactly where I want to be. And you'll notice on the back, after I pull this through, that we're making this white line on the back. We're making this nice straight white line as well. So back up and through the last 2 beads that we just did. That's what we want to do. Okay. We're going to do 8 beads up, 8 beads down, 8 beads to the left, 8 beads to the right. Okay.